Back in 2005, Ultimate Spider-Man released, and to this day, it remains one of the best representations of a comic book in video game form. From its cel-shaded visuals to its faithful adaptation of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, this game didn't just feel like playing as Spider-Man, it felt like stepping into the pages of a comic. Developed by Treyarch and published by Activision, Ultimate Spider-Man was released on September 22, 2005, for PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, and PC. It was directly based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comic series by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. In fact, Bendis himself wrote the story for the game, making it an authentic expansion of the comics universe. Unlike other Spider-Man games that mixed elements from different eras, Ultimate Spider-Man focused solely on its comic counterpart, bringing the ultimate version of Peter Parker and Eddie Brock to life in a way that felt natural and immersive. One of the biggest things that makes this game stand out is its art style. The cel-shaded graphics make the game look like a living comic book, something that was rare for superhero games at the time. Every frame, every punch, every web swing feels like it was pulled straight from a panel. The bold outlines, vibrant colors, and comic-style shading give the game an authenticity that makes it feel timeless. Cutscenes are especially creative, using animated comic panels that transition seamlessly into gameplay, enhancing immersion and keeping players engaged. The dynamic motion of these panels adds a layer of storytelling that makes even non-playable moments feel alive. This wasn't just a stylistic choice, it was a commitment to making the player feel like they were inside the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, living through a comic book adventure, rather than just playing a game. Music is an important part of any game, and Ultimate Spider-Man nails it. The soundtrack perfectly captures the tone of the game, light and energetic when swinging through the city as Spider-Man, but dark and menacing when playing as Venom. Each track enhances the moment. Whether you're fighting Electro, escaping the Wild Pack, or simply exploring the city, the music sets the mood and keeps you engaged. Just hear this out. The heroic energy while web-slinging, the unsettling atmosphere when controlling the symbiote, and the intense rush during chase sequences. It may not be as talked about as other Spider-Man soundtracks, but with its dynamic compositions and immersive themes, it absolutely deserves more recognition. One of the coolest things about Ultimate Spider-Man is how it expands the Marvel Universe. Not only do we get classic Spidey villains like Green Goblin, Shocker, and Rhino, but we also see characters like Wolverine and Silver Sable. These appearances make the world feel bigger, as if this is truly part of a larger Marvel universe. But the standout character? Venom. Venom in this game is terrifying, brutal, and tragic, just like in the comics. Unlike traditional versions of the character, Ultimate Spider-Man's Venom isn't just an alien symbiote that bonds with Eddie Brock. Instead, he's the result of an experimental suit created by Eddie's and Peter's fathers, meant to cure diseases. This changes everything. It gives Venom a deeper connection to Peter, making their conflict more personal. Venom's gameplay is also drastically different from Spider-Man's. While Peter relies on speed, agility, and web-based combat, Venom is all about raw power. He doesn't web swing. He leaps across the city with monstrous force. His attacks are brutal and devastating, using tendrils and sheer strength to obliterate enemies. Instead of webbing up foes for the police, Venom feeds on them, draining their energy to stay alive. This stark contrast not only makes Venom feel like a true force of destruction, but also reinforces his tragic existence. He's not just a villain, he's a desperate survivor. Playing as Venom makes you feel the overwhelming power and hunger of the symbiote, while Spider-Man's gameplay feels precise and heroic. This duality strengthens the story, making each of their encounters feel even more impactful. It's one of the best representations of Venom in any Spider-Man game, hands down. Symbiotes have been a huge part of Spider-Man's mythos, but few games have handled them as well as Ultimate Spider-Man. Instead of making Venom just another villain, the game explores his tragic backstory, his struggles, and his obsession with Peter. The game also teases Carnage in a way that builds up suspense, and when he finally appears, it's pure chaos. The battle between Venom and Carnage feels like an all-out monster fight, making the symbiote storyline feel complete. One of the most underrated aspects of Ultimate Spider-Man is how well it handles its boss fights. Each fight feels unique, forcing players to adapt and use their abilities creatively. Shocker acts as a warm-up, introducing players to dodging and web-zipping, while Electro brings a high-speed aerial battle that forces you to stay on the move and destroy Jumbotrons. Rhino is a destructive force, requiring strategy and patience to take him down, whereas Green Goblin is relentless, with fireball attacks and punishing damage. Beetle introduces a full-on aerial chase, testing your web-swinging skills, while Venom and Carnage steal the show with their monstrous, high-stakes fights. What makes these fights stand out is the comic-like vibe. Chases seamlessly transition into battles. Villains use the environment to their advantage, and every encounter feels like something straight out of a comic book. Unlike many other Spider-Man games where boss fights are just straightforward brawls, Ultimate Spider-Man constantly changes things up, keeping the player on their toes. Whether it's dodging Rhino's destructive charges, keeping up with Electro's speed, or facing Venom's raw power, every battle feels exciting and memorable. Simply put, these fights aren't just obstacles. They're memorable set pieces that make you feel like you're living through a Spider-Man comic. The plot of Ultimate Spider-Man doesn't try to be overly complex, but it doesn't need to be. It follows Peter and Eddie's intertwined fates while delivering a mix of classic Spider-Man action, emotional storytelling, and high-energy chase sequences. The game effectively balances Peter's heroic struggles with Eddie's tragic downfall, making their conflict feel deeply personal. Each chapter builds momentum, throwing players into intense encounters that highlight the unique dynamics between Spider-Man, Venom, and the game's supporting cast. The best part? It feels like an actual Ultimate Spider-Man comic. The dialogue stays true to the fast-paced, witty nature of the source material, while the pacing keeps the tension high from start to finish. It's fun, dramatic, and packed with great character moments that make the experience unforgettable. At the end of the day, Ultimate Spider-Man isn't just a good Spider-Man game. It's one of the most faithful comic book adaptations ever made. It captures everything great about the Ultimate Universe and delivers an experience that still holds up today. Whether you're a longtime Spider-Man fan or just someone looking for a great superhero game, Ultimate Spider-Man is absolutely worth playing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.